I'm sure everyone in this room has dealt with the experience of the government bombing and spreading deadly gases at the hospital while you or a loved one were there. I already know that most of you have, but raise your hand if you've personally gone through this. I'm not really seeing many hands raised because it's something that never crosses our minds in the area or even country that we live in. But unfortunately, in many countries around the world, worrying is something as horrible as that is the first thing that comes to the minds of parents while their children are being treated at the hospital. Hello, everybody. As you may know by now, my name is Ryan, and today I will be talking about Doctors Without Borders. I've done extensive research on this topic, and my father has always talked to me about this organization growing up and has supported them for a long time. I will be talking about what Doctors Without Borders is, how they help people in need, and what we as college students can do to help them. Before talking about the benefits of Doctors Without Borders and us as students can help, I'll first discuss what Doctors Without Borders is. If you haven't heard of it, Doctors Without Borders is a French nonprofit organization that sends help to many countries that are in need. They scatter around the world, but especially in war-torn and medically disadvantaged countries, giving aid and support. They have medically trained doctors that have decided to almost completely put other people's lives before themselves, knowing that they are doctors, they can make a lot of money just by being normal, having their own offices, but these doctors have realized that money cannot buy happiness, and have been either traveling the world, and even in some cases living in these war-torn areas, helping out the people in need, while just essentially getting by compared to the other salaries that these doctors are making. The other day, my father was telling me about this doctor that went to Haiti 20 years ago to help out some children in need. And after seeing how the country was faring and all the kids there, he decided to stay there and has been performing surgeries on all the kids there with serious health problems, essentially saving their lives because they don't have the required resources in that area. According to Doctors Without Borders website, 89% of the donations go directly towards the pre-game services, 9% of your money goes towards their fundraising campaign, and only about 1.4% of their money goes to the actual management aspect of the program. You can see that they use a large majority of your money and put it to good use, while some other charities out there may be taking 50% of your money and putting that to good use while taking the other 50% and putting it in their pockets. Now that we know what Doctors Without Borders is, let's talk about some of the benefits. What the program does to help the people in need. Even though they are spread out around the world, they especially target areas of crisis and war, and they send them help. They send medical supplies as well, and along with provide other cares. For example, the Syrian government and an array of opposition groups went into an all-out war, and the Syrian medical system completely collapsed, as stated by Paul Redfield, thus leaving many civilians just left in the crossfire of war with essentially nothing to do but just hope that they would get lucky and stay alive. Doctors Without Borders have been already sending them medical supplies, however, that would not suffice anymore. Even though the Syrian government did not even give them access to work in Syria, they have brought out many surgeons and doctors to the northern parts of Syria and have been performing surgeries and giving a lot of medical attention to the people in need just so that they stay alive. This is just one example of the many courageous things that they do. Doctors Without Borders also claims that many of the third world countries around the world cannot provide vaccinations to their newborn kids. Instead of just standing by, Doctors Without Borders goes into these countries and provides vaccines, and the only thing that they get back is the exuberant smile on the faces of the children's parents. Now, knowing what Doctors Without Borders is, and the benefits of the organization, I will discuss how we as students can help them. How can we help all these people around the world in need? It seems like a very large, mighty task. Obviously, I know that most of you don't have the ability to deliver medical supplies to many of these countries. And obviously, I know we're not all qualified to go to these countries and perform surgeries and help them in that way, but there are still other many ways to help. While sending money is the only technical way that we can help out, I'm going to tell you why it's not so bad. I know that we as college kids don't have a lot laying around in our pockets, but if we're all able to save at least 20 bucks a month, as a class that would come out to $300 a month. Maybe that doesn't seem like a lot, but just that $300 can be the difference between people getting the surgery that they need or dying. We already know that 90% of the money goes to actually helping the people in need. So maybe if we could just cut back on eating out one less time a month, going to the club one less time a month, going one less time a month to the movies, or just cutting one extracurricular activity that we do and gunning it down one less time a month, we can save a life of a person in another country. I want to cite my very own father on this because it was one of the most eye-catching ideas I've ever seen, and it's truly a great one. The idea is that we already have most of the necessities in life. We don't need all the extra trinkets in life. Instead of your mom buying you a pair of those new $170 Apple headphones, the AirPods, what she could do, you can tell her this, be like, tell her to just get you a pair of $10 headphones and have her donate the other $160. While the sound quality might be a tiny bit worse, that donation, you have just completely improved the entire quality of life for someone else. In conclusion, now that you know what Doctors Without Borders is, what they do, and how we can help, I really hope that most of you can go out and donate to them in the future. Just a little bit amount of money we can give can change lives. Also, just talking to your parents about the program, enlightening them, they might want to give monthly donations. They can see that they have most of the necessities and they can help these kids in need. My dad personally has been donating to Doctors Without Borders for years. And the reason that he says he does it, and he told me the reason why he does it. He said that some places around the world are sick and they can drive a sane man crazy. Losing a loved one or a family member when only due to the lack of medical supplies or a lack of doctors when they were completely savable. That can turn an entire family crazy. And it can cause some of them to do even more harm to others in an act of revenge. Thank you.